hope everybody had a good time away for this end of the Gregorian year with her family or loved ones, and are coming re-energized. And that will be sort of like the main topic that I'd like to share with you all for this 20th community call. So yeah, I think actually without further ado, I think right now should be a good time to start. We have about 25 people in the call. So I think it's good to start, just to be mindful of everybody's time. So half a year ago, on June 7th, BabelFish's XUSD was released on RSK's mainnet to enhance stablecoin flow to and from multiple chains. There's been no last names behind the development of BabelFish, nor marketing or design teams to speak of, just a group of pseudonymous developers and contributors from around the world that are passionate to build stablecoin solutions on Bitcoin Layer 2. 2 months later, on August 26th, the Fish token pre-sale event took place to help sustain BabelFish's development goals, raising around 4.5 million in RBTC within half an hour. Since then, BabelFish's XUSD has reached 20 million in circulation and grown its community to over 3,000 active members across social media platforms. Those numbers may sound big to some, but we know that that's just a warm-up to those working behind the curtains on BabelFish. Having a live product has helped the community and devs get a sense of the demand and limitations to become a sustainable and reliable cross-chain stablecoin sitting on Bitcoin Layer 2. As the BabelFish distributed team continues to learn the controls of the DAO's chip, the protocol is slowly positioning itself to deploy across chains and increase the selection of stablecoin collateral, implement governance staking, and provide new saving features. As the great Douglas Adams said, "I love deadlines. I like the whooshing sound they make as they fly by." Rest assured, however, that the infinite improbability drive will soon be turned on, and BabelFish will travel across the DeFi galaxy at a much faster pace in the year ahead. Expect the unexpected and strap on. There will continue to be growing pains, that's for sure. But BabelFish will always reach its destination. So don't panic. One thing that I would like to cover here is the first governance vote. It's been about 6 months. We haven't had yet our first vote. And that is part of the issues that we found along the way. So this draft that I'm going to be reading now, it's something that I just posted on the forum, and I would love also to hear your feedback after the call. But yeah, so BabelFish was born specifically to enhance stablecoin flow and accelerate hyper-Bitcoinization. Yet, the distributed team fell in the trap of analysis paralysis and delayed shipping on its original goals. To keep it simple, stupid, or as they say, the BabelFish kiss, we have to stop drawing and redrawing the whiteboard and move on to deliver the original promises. DAOs should be leader fluid, not leaderless, and this is something that we and other protocols have had to learn the hard way. Likewise, we need to keep things so simple from a UI perspective that even a fish can use it. The less brain cycles needed to earn yield, the better, and we stand by this. So we're going back to the original promise, the keep it simple, stupid promise. Namely, 1. Incentivize stablecoin flow directionally towards RSK and Bitcoin L2. 2. Lend collateral on parent chains, blue chip lending protocols such as Aave and Compound. 3. Use yield to accrue RBTC for protocol insurance and for fish staker rewards. 4. Recalibrate lending and collateral parameters through biweekly or monthly votes. And 5. Continue researching the stablecoin landscape and hedging risk. It behooves BabelFish to stick to this original plan and distribute the collateral currently resting unutilized on the bridge. The amount of collateral lent out can be gradually increased over time through improvement proposals. This will enable BabelFish to hedge risk across protocols, earn yield to buy RBTC, and increase XUSD in circulation with liquidity mining incentives. Right now, we're keeping our collateral way too safe inside the bridge, and capital and users will flow to where it's treated best. To involve the immediate stakeholders in this important decision, the first improvement proposal vote, in my humble opinion, should be to commence a liquidity mining rewards to the protocol users and governance takers and empower them to vote on the DAO. We propose these fish rewards and all future liquidity mining rewards to vest over 6 months at least and be automatically staked. So this was just posted with additional details on the forum. I would like for you guys to jump in there if you have some feedback. Feel free. That's the idea. We have new members that are joining on the dev school, and they're finalizing finally the governance so we can start voting there. From there, if this gets approved, the future votes will be to vote on the parameters of collateral lent out, liquidity mining rewards, and other priorities. But we should stop wasting time drawing and redrawing the whiteboard. Let's just start with what we need to start. Finally, expect us going back to basics and hitting the ground running, re-energized across all schools. Bear markets are the time to build. So if you want to help, reach out. We will also be updating our website in the coming days, so the analytics and documentation to better understand our roadmap, community, and just get a grip on the product will be easier for any member, whether new or old. So again, some updates from the dev school in particular. We expect to commence sharing bi-weekly updates. So on every community call moving forward, we will start sharing progress that's being done on the dev side. So this is a new development. Our devs are being rotated. And the new teammates are getting familiar with the work that was done previously on the governance fork, which still has some bugs, unfortunately, before we can finally vote on liquidity mining and yield opportunities. Similarly, we will not be testing our UI on mainnet anymore. That was a bad idea, so that will be deprecated. Some people were talking about the user interface that they were trying to use, and that was just for testing purposes. So yeah, to prevent mistakes, that testnet will be deployed for future updates. On the story school, going back to what was mentioned earlier, a content calendar is coming to cover what we care about, namely stablecoins, RSK, and BabelFish Developments. And we're doing some reorganization here as well. So we're excited to jumpstart this school in a more leader fluid way, whereas instead it was more like leaderless. On the community school, we believe that it will also benefit from the updates mentioned above, from content to updates. And we're looking forward to translating all of this to your specific mother tongues. And on the Babelverse, I think there's also some more surprises coming here in the short term to benefit all the early active users. So yeah, as always, we appreciate your patience. It takes time to build great products, so it's better to slowly but steady. And this is not investment advice, but patience will definitely be rewarded. So yeah, let's make this a year of BabelFish, and that's what I really wanted to share with you guys. Again, I'm sharing the link on this improvement proposal just to jumpstart everything on the CC questions chat. If you'd like to share your thoughts, that'd be great. And yeah, with that, I would like to open the floor to other dolphins. If you'd like to share something, and of course, to anybody else in the call from the community, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and share your thoughts with us. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Just a quick announcement from the community school side here. We did the quiz the other day on the 10th of December, I believe, like a month ago, and we told everyone that there would be a winner of a giveaway for everyone who participated in the quiz. So I don't see him in the call right now, but the winner is Linky Paul. I will also make this an announcement later after the community call. But yeah, say congratulations to the winner. Thank you.
Was Linky Paul the winner of the random drawing? And if so, who was the winner of the quiz itself?
Sorry, I accidentally connected to another channel. Can you repeat your question, Novex?
Sure. I was just wondering if Linky Paul was the winner of the random drawing part of the quiz, or did he get the highest score on the quiz?
No, Linky Paul got the giveaway.
Okay, cool. Who was the top scorer on the quiz? I don't even remember who it was, so it'd be cool to know and let everyone else know.
Gifun was the top scorer.
That quiz was not super easy, but I thought it had some great trivia, and I can imagine if we do that somewhat regularly or something like that monthly, it could be a good incentive to drive participation, but also to help us come up with good content for the quiz materials that we're developing for Fishtoshi and everything. just a thought, but I did enjoy the quiz, and I hope everyone else enjoyed it too. So it'd be great to get another one on the books.
Yeah, let's see what we can whip up. I need to focus on my recovery. COVID is hitting hard.
Yeah, no,
probably.
I could hear it in your voice. I was going to say I can hear a little bit. Yeah, hope you're getting the right ingredients to rest up and get well.
Vitamins.
Okay, Dark Knight, there's a question from the community. Ask few times about staking. So when it's going to start? When do we plan to have the first vote and so on?
Yes. So what I mentioned in the call, we're having some rotation on the dev school, which I think are going to just help us move much faster with everything that we've been wanting to do. And so, the first thing that needs to be fixed, of course, is governance, which is sort of connected to staking, and there are some bugs in there that are still present, and that's why we haven't even been able to do the first vote. So the idea of this forum post draft, or I'm getting my words mixed here. And the idea of this draft that I just shared with you guys, it's ahead of what I expect to be ready by, if not next week, then I hope. I cannot speak for the devs, but ideally by the next community call, staking will be ready, so you can stake your fish and increase your voting power there. And so before that's fixed, we don't feel comfortable having any votes. And then part of this draft, what I am proposing as well is that the rewards, increasing the rewards for fish stakers as well, right? So immediately to involve the community of BabelFish stakeholders on the decisions, we need to give some sort of liquidity mine to jumpstart liquidity mining. We should reward XUSD holders, but also fish stakers, right? So there are some issues there that are being fixed by new developers or getting familiar with the code. But I cannot speak with them about their progress, but I'm confident that by the next community call, we can have that ready, start voting, and in parallel, we're also the devs are also just working on lending the collateral. So ideally, this stumbling block about not being able to vote and having issues with staking, it's sort of like after that, everything else should be much easier, smooth ride after that. They're just getting familiar with previously written code.
I checked the proposal on the forum, and another question is, how much of the collateral are we going to lend out?
Yeah, so the first vote is just to reward what I propose in there. It's to reward XUSD holders and fish stakers. And it's not detailed in there. The idea is to have a conversation. In my mind, it should be potentially, to jumpstart it. So we basically haven't really begun to use the funds allocated for liquidity mining. And according to the tokenomics, in the first year, that's about 1.42% of total fish supply for the first year per month. And so we've been having some internal discussions. Potentially, it could be, the 1 month, the first, the second month actually, since the first month was used for the airdrop to SOV stakers soon after the sale. So it will be, jump started by giving the second month of allocated fish to liquidity mining to XUSD holders, potentially 80% of that first month. And then 20% to the current fish stakers by the time the vote is completed. And of course, this would be vesting over 6 months, at least, I think, and that will be also automatically staked. And then after that first vote is passed, then the next vote should be, okay, do we want to lend 20% or 50%, and have a conversation around that. So So yeah, the idea is to jumpstart it and move quickly over the basic things that we've wanted to do since day one, and we basically sort of like lost the way, and we never voted on the most important thing. So the idea for the first vote is let's empower with fish with a vote to the current stakeholders first. Let's agree on that, and then the second vote priority should be, okay, how much of the collateral do the stakeholders think it's a good percentage to start. I would feel comfortable by lending 50%, since this would be two blue chip lending protocols like Aave and Compound, and it makes sense, even though I'm very confident in the security of the collateral that we have on the BabelFish bridge together with Sovereign. It's always just good to also move the collateral elsewhere, especially if you're earning yield on them. And then there's other cool things that we can even start doing. We have, for example, a lot of tether on RSK. So the third vote could even be about, okay, what are we doing with all of this tether that's on RSK? Maybe we should move that collateral to where tether is earning yield. Maybe we can diversify away from that tether. So just getting back to like the word says, just really jump starting and really hitting the ground running with these new teammates that are joining us without overcomplicating things. To achieve our goals quicker. Ideally, I would like BabelFish to reach 100 million in collateral by the first half of the year. So yeah, that would be the goal, and then from there we can start complicating things a bit more if we want. But yeah, I think by just keeping things super simple in what was the original promise and voting on what matters and empowering the current stakeholders is what makes sense. We just need to vote. So hopefully we'll be able to vote by the next community call on empowering the current stakeholders.
And another question about balancing the stablecoin pools. As you said, we have a lot of USDT, and what were the thoughts about in the internal discussion about balancing the pools?
Yeah, so these are also some so there are some things that can be sort of like forked from similar protocols using balancing curves. But an original idea that it's also super simple. It's just the incentives on these curves would be that's why liquidity mining is important, right? So it's about how much fish you could potentially earn on making a deposit from a stablecoin that's needed versus how much you could earn from one that's not needed as much. And then there's always the issue about how to deal with the collateral that's already in place. And I look forward to hearing more on that sort of like balancing curves from the devs as we make progress in this first quarter.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, great questions, Hyde. I would just like to point out that Hyde's questions are always one of the best questions, I think, in this community. So Hyde, really thank you. I think you're just a great inspiration to us all in this community, at least to me.
To be specific, it came from the community on Telegram and on different channels. So yeah, so guys, if you have questions, just ask. You have the CC question chat on Discord. If you don't want to use microphone, you can always also after the call post the questions there, and it will be answered during the next call, or maybe it will be written on the Discord channel. And don't hesitate to use it.
Cool. Yeah, guys, definitely don't be, if you don't feel like either speaking your question through the mic, you can feel free again, like Hyde said, either via Telegram or on the chat here. I really think that what we just shared on this call, which was I think a bit more, provides more background than what the forum post shares. I think it provides a level of simplicity, and it's much easier for everybody to see the direction of where we're going. And it should make it much easier for this organization to behave in a leader fluid kind of way, whereas before it was feeling more like leaderless. Now at least the direction is clear once again. And I see we have a question here from Lightbringer, and this question.
Yeah, sorry, Dark Knight. Let me just tell one more thing about staking, because it is something that was also asked a lot on some channels. And yeah, staking is possible at the moment, but it's not advised. Let's wait for the devs to work on this. As Dark Knight said, it shouldn't take longer than 2 weeks. Maybe it will be earlier, but let's see. Let's hope that it will be available until 2 weeks, so we could vote, make the first votes, make the stake our fish, and then make the first votes. I have tested staking a few times, and tested it also like maybe 2 or 3 days ago, so it works. But yeah, there are still some minor bugs to be taken care of. Okay, yeah, you can go with the question.
So I think this question is mostly for the Babelverse school, and I think there's a few members here from the Babelverse school. If one of you guys want to take it, the question is from Lightbringer, wondering what the status is on the Babelverse. We mentioned earlier in the call that we are expecting some positive updates as well on this quarter, and also simplifying the scope and making it really easy to digest where Babelverse is heading. So if you guys can answer what the status is on the Babelverse for Lightbringer.
Yeah, hey Lightbringer. I'll just give a few words on it, and then if anyone else wants to jump in and comment on the specifics too, that'd be cool. This is Novax here, and we started that initiative for Babelverse a few months ago, and really started rapid prototyping in September. September and October were really heavily invested in getting that moving and exploring all the options there and all the opportunities and what we could do in partnership with Pop Thinking indie game studio that has more than 20 years experience building games. And so it was really great working with them in that experience. And so we got a lot of early exploration prototyping work, what we're calling the rapid developing phase. All that stuff now that we had originally put up on the target board that's been completed as of November 1 has now been put up into a browser build that we're kind of just keeping for testing purposes. So we getting it ready to unveil it in a wider way with you guys. It's in a limited way at some point, for testing and just to reveal it and stream it to you and things like that. But at this exact moment, we do have an OpenGL build that's just Unity, just game. And then I think this next phase here after this call today around 11, we're planning on meeting up again with all the Babelverse guys and talking about the specifics of how we want to tackle Q1. I've laid out a proposal for grant proposal. So as soon as the governance is up and running, we want to be getting our grant proposal in. So we need to have agreement between our team. So that's one of the things that we're working on, is having our team get to, around the round table on consensus mechanism and on organizational structure and compensation and revenue and how we want to tackle all the important things. So that leads to a really nebulous, broad conversation really quickly, especially when your vision is kind of as big as ours tends to be. So we've now kind of pulled back to just looking at developing in a really agile methodology in a really kind of modular, composable way, so that we're not taking on too much all at once. And that's been all the stuff that I've been working on the last couple of days that I'm excited to share with you guys on the Babelverse front in a couple of minutes here, and excited to hear everyone's feedback on it. But yeah, just in the short term, I think as it relates to the core protocol, the main things to look for are, once governance is up and running, we do want to give some sort of reward that is connected to Babelverse for all the fish stakers. So anyone who's staking fish in the fish governance, we want to be able to reward you guys. So we're looking at establishing kind of like a minimum staking amount, and then associating perhaps an avatar or perhaps a token or an accessory for your avatar, depending on the timing of when we do a fish sale or how we roll out the avatar and how we strategically give access to the Babelverse. So there's a lot of stuff that's really fluid and in development there. But there's also a great deal of specifics in the design docs that we've laid out over the last few months. So it's really a matter of refining it, final refinements, I would say, before we're ready to proceed. Yeah, as for anyone kind of looking to get more info on that, more experience tangibly, getting a sense of what it is that we're building and the tools that we're using and all that, we're inviting this community to come and build and participate with us. So Story School is a place to do it. Come and just the general chat, just ask to be added to Story School, or let us know that you're interested in that, and we'll invite you in and come and play it. We're probably going to continue doing our Thursday stream and build together for some of the 3D design and stuff, and that's a good place to come and hang out and just talk with us. Yeah, and so that's kind of a general update, and I won't take much more time there. Just anyone else wants to jump in from the Babelverse team and talk about what we're doing, or if there are any more questions, feel free to pop in now.
While we wait, so feel free to continue to jump in if you want to ask another question about the Babelverse, or if you want to reply from the Babelverse team. It's cool. We have another question from Orange Juice. If I'm worried, are you worried about the price dropping significantly in recent months? So we don't really talk much about token price here. Of course, it matters. We are here, vested on the fish token, and we are here for the long term. So of course it hurts when it dumps over the short term, and it's hurting across the entire industry, and even in the general traditional finance stock market. I think, as I mentioned in the call earlier, during bear markets, it's a time to build. I think during bull markets, teams can often be distracted. In particular, devs, the demand for devs goes, sky high, and everybody needs devs, and then, their attention gets dissipated. That's not the case with bear markets. I think most of the cool projects that we see today started during the winter of 2018. Just keep on holding to your fish. This is not investment advice, of course, but liquidity mining hasn't started. Staking hasn't really started. It's been the first 6 months, so this is mostly just the general market conditions and being very early. So yeah, I think that is if you believe in a project, if you know where a project is going, and in my case, I am very bullish. I know where it's going and the potential that it has. Then yeah, just hold on for dear life, and yeah. So I think what matters is always the long view, and the same goes also for Bitcoin, right? When people talk about Bitcoin's short-term price fluctuations, I think if you understand what Bitcoin is, then you don't really look at the daily charts, right? You just keep learning about Bitcoin and try building in the Bitcoin space, and that's really what matters. So yeah, I think I would leave it at that.
Yeah, let me just point out one more thing about the the price of the fish token. It's also a matter of people who lost focus, and they were maybe focused more on the short term goal, and yeah, that's one of the things. And development didn't go as fast as we all wanted, but yeah, we are getting there. And please don't forget that you as a community, you have the last word. And we are also discussing like maybe some kind of reward for those who stay with us. And yeah, that's something that we can still discuss and think about. And if you have some ideas about it, just let us know, and you can write it. The best place to write it is on forum. And that's something we will talk again about. So we don't forget people who invested in fish and who are truly devoted to fish, BabelFish protocol.
Yeah, absolutely, Hyde. And I would also just to add to that, BabelFish is also being very careful in how it's using its treasury, and really exactly like we really appreciate all of the community, all the supporters, and so yeah, we will also be sharing some additional analytics. Somebody from the communities, the same person, Mitka, who built the dashboard for XUSD, is now also building a dashboard for fish, so you can see the amount of fish circulation, potentially the largest wallet. So just to continue providing transparency there, which is really what matters most as well, just to add to what Hyde said.
If it's all right, I'd like to comment on that comment as well, just with regard to the more macroeconomics. This is very important to keep in mind too. Just when we're talking about a governance token and price pressure and market performance on a governance token, keep that in the context of we don't have our governance up and running yet, so that's a huge part of the utility of the token. So we imagine that will have an impact on things, but then just step back from all of it and observe. Here where I live, and I don't know what it's like where you all are, but in the United States, the dollar store just down the street from my house just became the $1.25 store. And my wife said, "Excuse me, what are you still calling it the Dollar Tree then?" And the lady at the front said, "No, we're just calling it the Tree now." And it's hilarious because existing dollar store businesses are having to change their branding because a dollar doesn't buy what it used to last year. In fact, it buys 25% less or 20% less. So just important thing to consider that as people are liquidating crypto assets and their conventional assets in order to keep pace with the rising costs of goods and services in this rapid global inflationary crisis that will ultimately drive crypto values higher as people totally lose faith in fiat. But in the meantime, we all need to buy groceries with dollars. And so I think my perspective, just from my background in econ, is that we're seeing a lot of that happening because it's not just limited to crypto and it's not just limited to conventional asset classes. It's a red day and a red week everywhere.
Could I ask something?
Please.
I was thinking about the XUSD protocol and code, if it has ever been audited, and how is going its security, who's checking it and searching for bugs.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So the original code, which hasn't been upgraded yet in terms of the aggregator, and that was audited. We got a sponsorship by IOV Labs. They sponsored the audit of the aggregator, and they found no major security issues there. I think we shared that in the documentation. If we haven't yet, I'll look that we posted there. So that was audited. And then in terms of the bridge that we're using, that bridge is also being used by Sovereign, and there's a continuous bounty there for anybody that finds an exploit there. I think it's it also covers the bridge. So the aggregator was audited, no major issues were found, and then from the bridge side, there's a continuous bounty from Sovereign side, which is also using the bridge. I'll see if I can find the audit. I think we shared that in the documentation in the Gitbook, but if not, I'll see that we add a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, we will post it if it's not there. Yeah, but another question about bridge fees. That's something we are it's calculated, but what happens with those bridge fees?
So right now I cannot speak too much about the bridge and the current way that it's being managed. I think that we're going to have some cool updates coming that way soon. I just don't want to. It's not really a domain that I'm super informed on yet, and so I don't want to share fake news. But we are looking potentially into moving these fees and adding it into the yield that gets earned by fish stakers. So more on that coming soon.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, we don't have to rush with this, but yeah, it's something worth to know more about. Okay. Thank you.
Is Galactic on the call? Okay. Dragon Bro, are you with us? Well, I want to mention Morales to you guys. I want to mention Morales.io.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, hey, Dragon Bro. Hey, I want us to start looking immediately into Morales.io, their Morales SDK, MORALIS.io. Ivan on Tech put that out. He's been doing development trainings in blockchain for a couple years now, and so this is kind of his newer baby, and it's really cool. I mean, when I say it's really cool for turnkey options for some of the scaling solutions that we're working on. All across the board, really. I think it could have a lot of good answers for us too on the protocol, but also in Babelverse. So Morales.io, guys, let's look under the hood there and see what we can use.
Maybe
Okay, I'll
post,
check that out and see
maybe
what Jack
post,
thinks of it.
sorry, maybe post a link on the CC question chat.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay. Come on, Dragon Bro.
I said I'll definitely check out Morales and see what Dak thinks of it and its relations to the Babelverse.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Just one more thought for you guys. It's maybe some of you heard about it yet, that PayPal is going to issue its own stablecoin. So that shows the direction from which the big market is going to move. So that's another reason for me to be bullish on
Who did you say?
PayPal.
Oh yeah, PayPal. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Hold on.
Yeah, PayPal is currently working with Paxos, but it's interesting if they decide to do their own stablecoin. But yes, I mean it's not only the stablecoin growth that we're seeing. People realizing, okay, well, potentially we're all becoming sort of like dollar soldiers. Everything, Bitcoin is helping to dollarize, which could be just before, if the dollar were to collapse, which is not a scenario that people are really rooting for, but it's sort of like the what happens right before hyper Bitcoinization. People need to get hyper dollarized, get access to Bitcoin, and then what happens next. But it's not only that. I would add that it's that trend. Of course, stablecoins are probably one of the fastest growing ecosystems in the space. It's also as more people wake up to Bitcoin, it's interesting that people are entering the space mostly through NFTs, which are not related to Bitcoin at all. So as more people wake up to Bitcoin, it's also capitalizing on that, which is why we want to really focus on being the main source of stablecoin liquidity on Bitcoin layer 2. So that's what we really want to achieve and solidify our position on being the main stablecoin on Bitcoin layer 2.
Quick comment, Dark Knight, on what you mentioned about NFTs and Bitcoin and just the full circle nature of it all. I suspect that the NFT marketplace, being secured on Bitcoin layer 2, is going to be an interesting option. You know what I mean? In the future, as people start to realize more, on ramping via NFTs. So it's exciting to see that the influx into the marketplace is happening a lot around NFTs, but it's also a kind of scary place, So yeah, I've been looking a lot in this weekend into, just the specifics of the NFT gaming economies and how we can try to, be a stabilizing force in this area. But when you look into ERC 721 standards and ERC 1155 standards on RSK network, you quickly realize that the leading edge of that tech, the 1155, is hardly even developed at all, if at all, on RSK. I mean, you can only find documentation for 721. So we're really defining the standards in a way. We're in a place where there are some vertical solutions being built underneath us, and that's what I see with Moralis. So I think that we're always going to suffer the pain of being on the front side of that development, like with the multi-sig contract development and everything, that's all that infrastructure that's there on Ethereum already. But Polygon blew up last year, and now I think, especially with these game applications, when you're trying to keep more data on chain and you're trying to do these checksums for, images, then it makes sense increasingly to use scaling solutions like Polygon. And so that Ethereum virtual machine, compatible networks start actually having vertical solutions that connect them all together. And it's looking very exciting, but yeah, we need some dev power in there. So come on, devs.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good feedback just to add on there. Yeah, from the Babelverse side and NFTs. Just not for my comments to be, not to be misunderstood. I mean, NFTs are super important to bring adoption, but yeah, they're definitely very different from the whole idea of Bitcoin, which I think a lot of people are still yet to wake up. But through programs like Babelverse, NFTs, and adding them potentially to Bitcoin layer 2, it could be a way for to accelerate hyper Bitcoinization, or more people to become aware of the importance of Bitcoin versus everything else.
Yeah, just one more thing about Bitcoin and Bitcoin layer 2. Yeah, I know that some people, I've read on some discussion on sovereign channels, and I spoke also with some friends, and yeah, people are quite tired with RSK, and but yeah, they forget about one very important thing. RSK rootstock is validated also by Bitcoin miners. So if at some point maybe Amazon and Google stop providing servers, most of the projects out there in the blockchain are going to collapse, and Bitcoin layer 2 are going to survive because it's not on Google and Amazon servers. So that's something to take also into consideration. The decentralization is sometimes just an illusion, and we have to take advantage of that what we have, and I think it's a great opportunity for all of us. So I have a favor to ask you also to bring awareness about RSK and bring awareness about BabelFish. So just participate in our tweets, retweet, share, comment. Just do anything you can to spread the word about rootstock, about BabelFish.
Avalanche is having a hackathon with a $500,000 reward right now. I saw it in the fireside chat with Ivan on Tech it's just the other day. So that could be an option for us to actually promote BabelFish and to promote the DAO, is to actually sponsor devs, to go and have like a sponsored dev who we think is real hot stuff, and send them into different hackathons to try and earn rewards, but as a promotion of RSK. So, in this case, with Avalanche, I don't know what the specifics of their hackathon, so it'd have to be tailored to whatever they need. So you can't even really speculate on it unless you know what they want. But I just think looking towards those hackathons as an opportunity for us to build what we're going to build anyway, and maybe get paid to do it, or at least build the network, build the community to do it. That's a cool option to me.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but at this moment, I would like our devs to focus on on staking and governance, and and after that, after first vote, we are going to have also a lot of work. Yeah, so it's hard to find the balance. Yeah,
crawl, walk, run. Yeah, totally.
But there are communications with Avalanche. There is a stablecoin grant. Of that, it just takes more time, but communications have started, and there's definitely that's definitely something that will happen. But yes, I would also agree with Hyde. Let's just first focus on the first priorities and focus on doing one thing really well, and then. But yeah, of course, Aave exists on Avalanche, and then there's also like Benki, so there are lending markets there. So yeah, that's something that's definitely on the radar, but not super immediate. First, let's fix it, the immediate priorities, like Hyde said. But you're right, Nomax.
Do you want to say more, Dark Knight, about the specific devs that you are courting and their background and experience, or do you want to leave that kind of for them to say when they come on?
I would like this part of like jump starting both the story school, content calendar, and expecting updates from the dev school. So for the next community update, potentially by then, I would like to hear more directly from them, according to how much they would like to come into the and speak. Some people don't feel so comfortable speaking, but yeah. So let's wait. They're getting familiar with what we're doing. So yeah, little by little. But yeah, it's all distributed, which is amazing. It's just finding people through references or people that heard about us, and it's just really happening in a very organic way, which is cool, from places that probably none of us have maybe even been in person. So it's cool. But yeah, I have to defer to them before speaking for them. Yeah.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah, and yeah, if you also that's for the community. If you also know some devs who could work for us, you can always let us know about it, and yeah, maybe they will be able to help us to develop some things faster. Maybe they will work on some other ideas which we wanted to implement later. But there's always something to do. So if you can help, then help.
Hi guys, about this, I'm not a dev, but I'm a management engineer, and I was wondering if I could do something for the team, organizing some maybe schedules, or simply wondering.
I'll write to you now, private message bit, and we can continue the conversation from there.
Okay, thanks, great.
Any more questions, guys? Calling once, calling twice. So what do you think, the Dark Knight?
I think this was a good call. I hope that you guys are energized for this new year. Again, I think this can really be the year for BabelFish, just based on the trends that we covered here, on the new talent that we're getting on board. And yeah, we look forward to delivering on this first quarter many of the things that we hope to deliver also late last year. And so yeah, I think we can definitely adjourn this call. I think the main message was delivered. Please feel free to comment on that latest forum post for potentially making it the first proposal. And yeah, if you want to join also and hear more about what's happening on the Babelverse side, as Novak said, you can ask on the story school. I think they're going to be having a call now in 5 minutes. And yeah, I think we can adjourn the call, Hyde. Thank you, everyone, and speak to you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you, Flento.
Thanks, guys.
Fish out.
Fish out.